So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Business Live session. Hi, Eugene. How are you?
Hi Jay, I'm doing very well. How are you holding up over there?
We're doing okay. It's very weird. I'm not going to lie, but we're what, 3, 4 weeks
Yes.
in now, so we're getting to some kind of routine. But it's still quite weird when I'm venturing out to do the food shop and stuff. It's kind of, it's almost a bit like something out of The Walking Dead or Mad Max. It's kind of strange, but doing these things and still getting involved in the Photographer Academy and obviously my other business, the Experience Group, is keeping me sane and a vital resource for our photographers out there. So it's great that we're able with these online platforms to be able to do that. Eugene, I always get it right, so I'm really proud of myself. But it's Nagawiecki. Obviously, you're a marketing. What's your official title with NPHOTO?
Marketing specialist.
Marketing specialist. I like that. Very good. So, Eugene, before we get going, let's just, for those of people that might not have been on one of these sessions with us before or familiar with you, just tell us a little bit about you and how you got to where you are with NPHOTO, and then we'll get into today's presentation with you.
Certainly. As Jay said, I'm Eugene Nagawiecki. You did well. Perfect, Jay. I hope you all are doing well and staying safe over there, keeping your social distance and all that. But yes, I work with NPHOTO as a marketing specialist. I do a little bit of everything. I take care of copywriting on the blog, do some video work, and the whole nine. I've always had a passion for marketing and psychology. So this is really, and photography as well. So this was really the perfect place. I've been here for some time now, and I really enjoy what I do, and I love to be able to help out professional photographers in any way that I can.
Brilliant. What I forgot to say, guys, we absolutely want you to interact with Eugene and I today. So please use the question panel. Any questions, if they're relevant to a certain section of the webinar, I'll interrupt Eugene. If not, we always allow plenty of time at the end of the session for your questions. Eugene, I will make you the presenter, and then I'll let you
Okay.
know that I can see your screen. So it's coming over to you now, mate.
Okay. Show my screen. You see me now? Yes.
Yep, seeing your desktop.
Okay.
There we go. We've got your
Yeah,
presentation.
I just cleaned it up before this webinar, just for this. Okay,
Excellent.
so now we should see in full screen the presentation.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've got you there. It's got some tools. It's got
One,
some controls
two,
at the bottom. Is that right? Just so you know. There we go. I think we're
right.
all.
Should be going away. Should be in full screen, right? No?
Yeah, we're in full
Just,
screen. Yeah, we're all good.
okay, so
We're all
we're
good.
all good.
So I'm gonna go quiet, buds. But feel free to ask me if there are any questions, guys. Please use that question panel. Eugene, it's all yours, mate.
All right. Okay, here we go. Sorry, just some delay on my checking my thing. Okay, well, once again, hello everybody. As you see from the title of the webinar, and you probably saw from the advertising of this webinar, today is going to be all about how to improve your studio when business is slow. And of course, this is going to touch on the terrible times that we are in right now, because there are some things that can still be done to help your business, even though you cannot see people face to face and get some new clients. But this is also going to be some things that can work even in times when society at large, gets back to normal. So feel free to check, as Jay says, this is going to be recorded and up on their site. So feel free to check back in on this webinar to remind yourself about some tips, even when this COVID wretchedness finally passes and you might just be in a slow business slump. But as I say, we have to address the situation that we are in right now. It's too big to ignore. And before we go any further, just speaking on behalf of the NPHOTO company now, we want to just say that first and foremost, the most important things are these three things that we see on the screen. That is your health, your physical health, maintaining your relationships that you hold dear, and your mental well-being. These are the three most important things. Business is important, but it's not as important as those three factors. Oftentimes you'll hear people say things like, not everything is about business or money or something. And generally these three factors are what they are referring to being more important. So I bring this up specifically because of this time, but even in general, business is going slow, just to remind us that if things are going bad with your business, that there's more to life than that, and not let your business provide you the negative stress even more than what you might already be experiencing. Because this is a trying time, and it's a trying time for people in many, many different ways. And we understand that now sometimes people do not have more time than they might. We like to think that you have more time now, but you might not. And so we're going to talk about some actions, some things that can be done, but that's not to add any extra stress, or that's not to make anybody feel guilty who might not be in a position right now to be doing these kind of things. I'm a father of 2 kids. I understand with schools being closed, that's really hard. Like I'm an outdoors guy, not being able to go outside right now, I know that's killing me. So we're not trying to put any extra stress on anybody. If you're not able to do some of these things at this very moment, we totally understand, and we just want you to know that overall your health, your physical health, the relationships that you hold dear, and maintaining those and your mental well-being are what is important. In the end, we are here for you, and we're happy to do whatever we can to help you with your business. But that being said, if you can get through those factors, and if you have, if your life is still in order, and fortunately it is not turned upside down from all this is not a time to necessarily kick up your feet and think just because you can't get new clients that you're on some unpaid vacation. No, there are still things that you can be doing for your business. And again, those 3 factors and other things all in check, you should be paying some attention to your business, absolutely. And there are some things that you should be doing, and that is what we're going to get into right now. So here's a little outline of where we're going to go with our presentation today. There's a lot to cover. Again, so many things that you can be doing even right now, and again, just in general when your business is slow. So I recommend bookmarking this presentation once it becomes available, so you can always check back in with it and refer back to it, because I'm sure everything might not be caught right now. This is we're going to talk a little more about the situation, not too much. We've heard enough about all this already, I know. But then we're going to go into what we can do now, or when our business is being slow. We're going to talk about the power of mini sessions again. So that'll be more a little when things clear up, and if you just find yourself in a dull moment in the normal society. Bolstering your portfolio, how that can help your business. Not being afraid of change. Change. Don't fear that. Anybody who is fan of 90s music, that's my ode to Counting Crows, a beautiful band. Change. Don't be afraid to do that if you need to. We'll talk about that and when we get there. And how to make money without even leaving home. I'm sure we all love to hear that right now. There is a way. We'll get to that. And then we'll end with the summary and any questions that you might have. And with questions, Jay, please don't hesitate to butt in as I'm rambling on. If people have questions, I'm more than happy to address them as we are going. I really like to talk, for those of you who've been here before. So Jay, never fear butting in with me. If there's some questions pending, I'll be happy to address them. So here we are again, reality strikes, and boy does it bite. As Jay alluded to, we're a few weeks into this virus now. Depending on where you're located, it kind of got into different places earlier than others. But by and large, we're about a month, 4 or 5 weeks into this, and it is terrible. It really is turning our life upside down, really changing everything the way that we knew it. But again, all is not lost. There's still much that we can be doing. And in the words of Winston Churchill, if you're going through hell, keep going. And I think this is a very pertinent quote right now, because we are kind of at the 4-5 week mark. This is not new anymore. This is something we're used to, unfortunately. But it's also a time when, to use kind of a sports reference, I'm a big sports guy, when kind of the adrenaline can wear off and we can be like, oh, wow, like this is really, it just has that feeling of never leaving. No, it's gonna pass. We have to stay positive and we have to keep moving. As Winston Churchill is telling us, we have to keep going, even and especially if we are in a terrible moment. And so we just gotta embrace the truth too. We think it's very important to be honest with people, especially with a B2B relationship. Honesty is one of the most important factors, and we have to be real. The economy is struggling right now. It's struggling worldwide. Again, I'm not going to get too into that. I'm sure you can be reading the reports that are coming out now every day, more and more depressing. And of course, this is going to affect the professional photography industry, and the professional photography landscape will change. Maybe not fundamentally, but there are some studios that used to exist that probably will not be existing after this is all said and done, or some bigger studios that will downsize, or some people that went from full-time to part-time or something like that. That is just a reality is going to happen, and there might be some fundamental changes to the professional photography industry. But this does not mean that you have to fail. No, this is kind of where we're going to go with this presentation. You do not have to fail. There are still many things that you can be doing to make sure that you and your business come out of all of this ahead of the curve, on top of the game, and you can really hit the ground running once all these regulations are lifted. And just by tuning into this, you are already in the best position to succeed, especially if you are a member of the Photography Academy or the Experience Group. And if you are not, I strongly recommend doing so. As Jay mentioned at the beginning, they have so much going on right now that can help you and help your business. And it's just a wonderful platform to help educate you and keep you prepared in the photography industry. So what else can we be doing in this time, or generally what can you do with your photography studio when you find that, you know, it's a slow time, clients don't seem to be coming in as much as you would like? Well, again, as Churchill says, let's be sure to keep going. And I'm going to be referencing Churchill a lot in this presentation. He just, I don't know, he just came to my mind the other day, and I was like, wow, he's speaking some perfect wisdom at a time like this. And this is just another one. The attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Again, here we are about 4 weeks in. We can sit here and we can feel like this is never going to end. My business is done. Or we can sit here and say, okay, what can we do today to make our tomorrow better? And this is all going to pass eventually, and I'm going to be ready for it when it does. So attitude, it's a small thing, but it makes such a big difference. Okay, so let's get into it. What can we do now? Here are a few things that you can do with some time that you might have, or instead of standing behind the camera and shooting new clients. You can get caught up. You can get resourceful. You can organize your business. Well, you'll have to get resourceful. We'll get to that. And you can organize your business. Make sure that even in a time like this, especially in a time like this, that you're continuing to get yourself noticed through social media and whatever it means virtually, you are able to do so. And if it's a time when you can be social, you know, physically, make sure you're being noticed socially, physically as well. Get social. That means social media in a time like this. But again, if it's a time when you are able to meet with people, do it in person as well. Educate yourself. Now is a perfect time to educate yourself and improve your skills and your business knowledge. And as I said before, just keep going, keep doing something that will benefit your business. As we all know, the age-old adage, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Now, again, if you're in a position where life has hit you way too hard too quickly and you kind of need to take a step back, we totally understand that. But if you're in a position where you have the ability to do some things, do it, get going. This is the time to step up. And in the words of Simon Sinek, dream big, start small, but most of all start. So that's kind of the message that we're getting off right now, is just do something, do anything positive to help your business, and here are the things that you can be doing. First and foremost, you know, get yourself caught up. You know, clear your debt, as it would be in the photography industry, you know, from the terms. Get yourself on a level playing field. Finish any pending projects. I know a lot of times when professional photographers are in the throw of things, you schedule it, you know, one shoot after another, and the projects can build up, and you can kind of have a little delay and a little lag of getting them out. Make sure the first thing that you do is you just sit down and you finish any pending projects that you have. It will clear your mind. You won't even realize how much less stress you will feel. You might have even just put it in the back of your mind, so you don't even know that it's there, but it is sitting there and it's just weighing you down. The fact that you might have something that you haven't finished. So get it done. That's the first order of business. Not only does it relieve some stress and make you feel better mentally, a healthier mind, but it also reinforces that trust that your clients and that respect that your clients have for you when they get something from you. And specifically in this time of COVID-19, you know, what an ideal time. Like, what more could a family want than to have a photo album or printed photo product that they can use to distract themselves from this, you know, the terrible news cycles, and to spend a valuable time with their family that'll bring them together and relive those better memories. So really sit down and get yourself caught up on those pending projects. Now, in this time and in times in the future, if for some reason you can't meet face to face, you can use drop shipping. At NPHOTO, we have this option where you can directly send any projects you create to your client's door. So there's no need to have to get involved person to person. Of course, if we're in a time when you can meet person to person, that's always recommended. But at a time like this, that's not possible. So you can still get your product delivered to your client. Using the drop shipping through NPHOTO with us, your item box will not include any pricing details or the NPHOTO name, so you don't have to worry about that. And the last thing you can do to get caught up is, finish any trainings or courses or other duties that you might have in progress. Similar to customer and client projects, maybe you, in the throw of things, you start a photography training course, maybe through the Photography Academy, or you start a business course and it's sitting there 50% completed because, other things have to be done. Well, now, again, it could be a good time to finish those up and get yourself all caught up and kind of clear again, that debt, so to speak. Now, also you need to get resourceful, obviously, at a time like this where you are not able to reach out to new people and meet them face to face to generate kind of that consistent income and have that wheel turning. So you got to reach back. You got to reach back and get resourceful with what you have and kind of get creative of how you can use things that you already have. And I think you'll be surprised to find out how much image files or content is a word that we like to use in marketing you have available to you that maybe has not really been used that you can try and repurpose and reuse right now. So the first thing that comes to mind, and I've heard this very often throughout the professional photography industry from some leading names, something that you could be doing now is to offer albums or products to past clients. And this was a tip that came to me actually even a few years ago when I was sitting down and interviewing Daniel Lusenko with Smart Albums. And it's such a wonderful idea. All you really do is, as it says, you sit down and you reach out to past clients who might not have ordered an album from you. So they got the pictures from you, but maybe they didn't order an album. And you send them an offer for an album at a discount using the pictures of them that you already have. So again, you don't need to do any more photographic work. You don't have to worry like I'm not able to meet them to photograph them. Well, you already have the pictures. And you're simply offering them a service that they did not take advantage of the first go around. Maybe now they would like to do it. Again, given this time, one kind of shining light with the professional photography industry is I think a lot of people are sitting down and reevaluating their life and saying that, yeah, wow, things that can capture our family and our memories and do it forever and make it easy to access and think this is what's important. So maybe now a couple would really want to have an album, or a family, or an owner of a pet. Maybe now they would really reconsider getting an album when maybe they wouldn't have before. And again, you can use images you already have, and you can reach out to any client, even if it was a client who had ordered an album from you. You can just suggest a different product. Again, using some photos that haven't been used of them yet. So if they got an album, you can maybe suggest some wall decor, or you can suggest an album for the grandparents if they didn't go that route, or even like a folio box. Again, you never know what your clients might be interested in now. I know on the one hand, some people might be saving their money, but on the other hand, this is an emotional time and people really are seeing the value of family and memories and the things that can preserve those memories forever. Just a quick aside, I saw a document. We're based in Poland, our company, and it was a document about the Polish economy. And they had reviewed a time during the crisis, and they compared it to a similar time period the year before without the crisis. And there was a dramatic actual increase in the amount of money that was spent on photo albums. That increased between last year and this year in this time of the crisis. So even during this crisis, people were still, and even more so, spending money on the photo album. So I know that's Poland, but heck, that could be, I wouldn't be surprised if that is a general trend globally across Europe as well. Again, people now are really seeing the value of something that can preserve and capture the lives of the ones that they love the most. One other thing you can do to be resourceful is you can start a blog. So if you have one, you can update it or you can upgrade it. If you don't, you can start one. And now here you can just tell the story of your shoot. It doesn't always have to be, selling tips or some, life-altering advice. You can just simply take your photos and tell a story of the shoot. Walk the reader through how that shoot happened, or make a nice story out of it. You can choose some photos from that shoot, 4, 5, 6, put them in there. And really make it something fun and creative and interesting for people to read. You can take it really any way you want. You can try to educate people. You can just try to tell the story. You know, you could take it any way you want, but here you use your photos, you get them out there, some photos that maybe you didn't use in a print product or something like this. And you also are putting words onto, you know, onto the virtual media, which can help with your page's SEO. If you see point number 3 here, and SEO is your search engine optimization, or the visibility of your website and social media through the search engine. So it's a very, very important tool to be recognized in the 21st century. And with your images, use alt text when you can. So give your images some text assigned to them. Because alt text is actually what search engines use to understand what an image is. You know, computers are computers; they don't necessarily see images. Instead, they see the alt text of images. So with the images that you put on, try to use the alt text. You know, use some nice words that you would like people to be able to find you by, and you know, just to describe the photo accurately of what it's depicting, and you know, some short, sweet terms, because that's going to help your SEO even further. And then, of course, you can publicize and promote your blog. It's just something else you can communicate to your following, to your community, that you can promote on your social media pages. You know, all this stuff. You have a new blog post up. You have a wonderful new story to tell, experience to share. Again, all this stuff, and you can combine it with your photos, and you can really just keep people coming back to your website and creating interest for your name, for your brand, and for yourself. So blog, SEO, as well as interest, is a very good thing. Also get organized. When we have a little bit of a downtime and your business is more or less kind of forced to halt, it's a good time to get yourself organized. Again, when you're in the throw of things, sometimes it can be hard to find that time to step back and kind of assess where your business is and kind of organize yourself. Now is that perfect time, because you can't be going out and, you know, photographing new clients and things like this. So step back and assess your business. Do you have all your paperwork, proper paperwork done? Is it all up to date? Is it filed properly? Your numbers, your business plan. I know if you're a part of the Photography Academy and the Experience Group, they help you with that very much. But how is your business plan going? Is it successful? Is it not? Is there something that maybe you can alter with that to improve and hit the goals that you want to improve? Review your offer. This is point number 4. Is there a product or a package that you are offering, but it's not really getting much interest, and it's kind of just filling up space, and it's maybe, you know, just cluttering your offering, and you can just drop it, or maybe replace it with a different offer. Consider restructuring your packages or bringing in something new. Okay, this is a perfect time again just to step back, put yourself in a client's shoes and say, okay, now what is it that I can do to improve my business? How well is this really going? Maybe you've been keeping some numbers and some data and some figures on your business over the past few months, so you can analyze that. How has it been going the past 6 months, 12 months, or whatever, however much data you have? Again, now is the ideal time for you to take the moment to do that. Get organized. Also, your website. How is your website? Make sure you have a website, a specific professional website. I know that today is the day and age of Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of, which is great. You need it, but also be sure that you still have a legitimate, you know, website. You know, johnsmithphotography.com. That is still very important, and make sure that it's up to date. Could it be refreshed? Again, is your website and other virtual, you know, social media platforms, are they SEO optimized? Could that be something that you work on to improve now, when maybe the camera cannot be used so much? Some other aspect of your business that can be touched upon. Does your website have images of your work and products? I can't tell you how important this is. If you are a photographer who would like to make money by offering print products, you need to promote your print products everywhere that your name is, and you need to really establish that as a part of your brand. And you do that, again, by showing it to your clientele and on all your platforms. So are there images of your work in print products on your website, on your social media, on your Instagram? I can't tell you how many times I come across photographers and they do not have pictures of products on their website, social media, and or Instagram, or things like this. And it's very, of course, you need the beautiful pictures of your work, but also if you want to sell print products, have pictures of print products and your work in print products on your website. And if you can get even some, if your clients let you, if you can have some pictures of moments when clients have received their print products, and you can put those up on your website. That's all the better. You need to let people know that you have print products. This is what you offer, and that people are excited to have that. And you do that by showing it on your website, social media, Instagram, and everything else. And if you have product pictures on your website, maybe you can update them. Go through it. Maybe you can update them. Maybe they're old. Maybe you can refresh that. More things you can do to make sure that you are staying organized. Take inventory of your products. Okay, getting to the physical world again. Is anything missing in your studio offer? Is there maybe some price point that you would like to hit that you don't really have covered yet? Is there a product type that you don't really have that you think could benefit your business? Maybe you don't really have much wall decor, but you could really use it. Maybe you've been shy with the album, but now you see it's time to jump in and start to offer an album. Or print products in general. Maybe you've been hesitant to jump on the print product train, but now you want to try it. So just take inventory of your products and see if there's something that you could use in your studio. And along with this, your studio samples, how are they? Are they in good shape? Are they looking a little worse for the wear? Have they maybe been around the block too many times? Perhaps it's time for an upgrade or replacement. And actually, currently, we have a wonderful 75% off promotion for any of our complete set samples. Simply use the hashtag reason to print. You can take advantage of our complete album set, our complete Dreambook 4K set, or our complete PhotoBook Pro set, which can include a USB if you'd like, or simply include the print product itself and a wonderful matching box. You can find out more information about that on our website, nphoto.com/en. But definitely something to consider. Now is the perfect time again to just update your studio samples and make sure that those are in top shape and looking great and just the modern, most attractive things. Okay, publicize images of your product or work of your products. Again, that's very important. So I put it on there twice, yes. So make sure that there are pictures of your work and print products on your website everywhere and that they are current and up to date. Speaking of pictures, go through your library of photos. Again, even from client shoots, are all of them still necessary? At a time like this, you might want to hold on to them because, as I just mentioned, maybe there's a way you can use them. But if you're coming to this in a time when society is normal, maybe you don't need all the photos that you have saved everywhere. Maybe you can free up some space on your hard drive, or you can limit the amount of space you're taking up on some file sharing website, or maybe even get it to where you don't need to pay for a file sharing site, or as many as you are, or something like that. So go through your library of photos and see if you really do need all of them. Speaking of file sharing sites, how are your subscriptions for online services? Are they valid? Are any of them coming up that might need to be renewed? Maybe there are some that you see that you don't really need so much. These are all things that you need to be considering. And with this last point too, again, you need to prepare yourself for when society goes back to normal. If we focus on the current COVID-19 situation, it's kind of still a day-by-day thing. Nobody really knows when they're going to turn the lights back on or tell us, okay, you can start to take pictures of people now. So you need to be prepared. So if you have a subscription for some online service that is essential to your business and it's saying that it's going to expire in a month, it might be a good time just to do it while it's on your mind and re-up it for a year or whatever, because you never know when they're going to turn around and say, okay, go ahead, photographers, you can start to take pictures of people again now. And then you have to worry, oh my gosh, this service now is no longer available to me. I have to renew that. You want to be ready and hit the ground running when all this stuff is lifted, and we simply just don't know when exactly that's going to happen. So again, even and especially at a time like this, you need to make sure you are getting noticed. But in general, when business is kind of slow, you need to make sure that you are getting noticed. Point 2 under increase SM presence. Business is down, marketing is up. When your business is slow, that is when you need to ramp up your marketing to make sure people are getting your message and seeing what it is that you are trying to offer. So one way you can get noticed, to go back to the top, is to enter competitions. These are very valuable for a photographer to build your reputation within the industry, which has its own benefits of being a respected name within the photography industry. Also, to practice your craft, and heck, the consumer public is impressed when they see award-winning photographer and things like this. And when you win awards, it opens the door for you to go to speaking events and You know, again, the consumer public is impressed when they say, oh, speaker at this event, award-winning photographer, master of this. So enter those competitions. You might not be able to take pictures of people, but maybe there are some competitions open now where you can edit something you already have, you can enter it in there, and you can earn yourself a nice, title and things like this. Increase your social media presence. Again, of course, now when that's one of the only ways that you can keep yourself noticed. But again, even when things go back to normal, and if you find yourself in a slow moment for business, you need to increase your social media presence. Flood. I I I, I almost want to say it's impossible to do too much, but there probably is a time when you go too much. But nonetheless, flood your social media with content and updates from your business. Let people know that you're still around, of course, and then things are going well. People want to hear from you. People do want to hear from you. I was speaking to many professional photographers recently, and they've all had that similar message that people do still want to hear from them. They want to know if they're doing okay. The clients of photographers like to hear from the photographers. So, keep active and keep in touch with your client base. Business is down, we talked about. Business slow, post frequently. Okay, this could be many things. It could be images. It could be pictures. Again, now you can go back in your library, your store of photos, and post things from the past that you might have. But you don't only have to do pictures. You can do stories. You can do videos. The videos, we'll talk a little more in the section coming up. But the videos can be, anything. Well, maybe not anything, but it doesn't have to be just a collage of your images. You can be making videos that might be educational. You can be making videos that are factual. Answering some frequently asked questions that clients have when they come to photo shoots. You can just make a video addressing what people should do to prepare for their photo shoot, things like this. I mean, really use your creativity. The possibilities are nearly limitless. And again, when we're talking about pictures, especially now when you can't get new ones, you can take some from your stock that the public has not seen or your clients have not seen, and you can post them kind of as new. Your clients are not going to know. And it's something new to their eyes and something that will be appealing to them. So there again, you can kind of make the most of what you have. And again, we talked about the blog in the last slide or so. Update it and promote it frequently. This is another way, again, as I mentioned before, how you can keep yourself noticed and how you can stay relevant. And with the blog posts, again, if you're sitting on a bank of photos where there are many that can be publicly displayed that maybe you didn't put in a product or something in the past, you can limit the blog posts, the amount of images you're putting in your blog posts to really make the most out of that bank of photos and really have it stretch as far as possible. Because we might wake up tomorrow and things might be lifted, but it might be another 6-7 months. So we got to kind of prepare for both ends of the spectrum. So you can try and ration the images you have by only using a few images per blog post. Okay, so here we go. I mentioned before that you can get creative with your videos and everything, and yeah, you can. One thing that I think is putting a smile on a lot of photographers' faces now that we're seeing are some of the creative posts that photographers are posting with the lack of human subjects to photograph, especially for people who are, wedding photographers and family photographers. One of the popular ones doing the rounds on social media is the photographers taking pictures of Lego setups. That's fun. That's funny. That again is creating interest about that photographer. It's getting their name out. Photographers are sharing the work of that photographer. End clients are going to be seeing that too, and it's going to make people smile. You can use pets. Even if you're a human photographer, you can try and just photograph pets in your house if you have any. You can use your own family. If you have a family that you have to be locked it down with. There's many things that you can try and use to still be doing something even in this time. And if we're talking about the COVID-19 situation, this is something that we are all experiencing and we all kind of understand, and you can really use it to your advantage. Again, nobody is criticizing a photographer for putting a wedding shoot of Legos on Facebook now. They're applauding them because they understand the situation and it's seen as creative and funny and some comic relief. So don't be afraid, especially now in this coronavirus time, to get creative and kind of push the limits and kind of make people laugh and smile. And even in a normal situation, if business is a little slow, push the boundary a little bit. and do something maybe a little different than what you're normally used to see how the public responds. Creative, the point number 2, is appealing and is social media friendly. Again, as we see with these Lego posts and the action figures, I see some with just action figures, similar to the Legos, but they're usually just action figures. That again, that's something that the public likes to see and digest. Use Photoshop again with your images to be creative. Push those skills, really push them, and it can be a good time to see how much you really know about Photoshop and what else you might need to kind of learn with Photoshop. Really see what wonders you can work with that. I was interviewing a photographer once. He's a well-known photographer. He's won many awards for just outstanding photos. And I was interviewing him, and at the end of the interview, he's like, "Here, let me show you my place." And he has, he has a flat. And he says, this is it. This is where most of the stuff happens. And he shows me this, sitting room in his flat. He's like, this is where most of my images that win awards come from. And his main thing is the use of Photoshop. So now can be a great time for you to push your limits with Photoshop. You can take a photo. I'm saying that to say you can take a photo in your home, but you can make it at the end look like it's something spectacular. Even if that's not usually your style, okay. But again, in this current COVID situation, things are different. And you need to do what you need to do to keep yourself noticed and to keep your name kind of circulating. So again, even if you don't like to use Photoshop normally or something like that, people will forgive you for taking a little step in a different direction. And who knows, maybe you might find that there are some things with that you might continue to use even in your normal work. And as I've stated before and again with this get creative, the last bullet point, don't be afraid or ashamed to kind of recycle or reuse or repurpose media. And so with the images that maybe you took years ago, don't be afraid to use them. Or even if you posted a photo 5 years ago, don't be afraid if you throw it into another collection. Chances are people are not going to remember, and again, people will probably be pretty forgiving at a time like this. And again, even in times when business is slow, you got to use what you have. There's no shame in that. That's it's your property, and you're able to, it's from your work. You're able to use it how you want to use it. One other thing to do, you can notice again, create video or go live on social media. Here I talked about it a little earlier. So connect with your community. Again, like I mentioned, stay connected. Photographers have confirmed to me that their communities still want to hear from them. Their clients still like to hear from them. So stay connected with your clients, stay connected with your community, and you can do this virtually through Facebook and so many other, Skype, Zoom. There are so many platforms now where you can still be interacting with the photography community at large and specifically your community and your clients. Again, just some idea, you can just address some facts to your community, especially now. Clients who might want to have a photo shoot done or be in the middle of a scheduled photo shoot, they're probably going to have a lot of questions. So you could try to sit down and just address those. Again, to reinforce that trust and that respect and communication that you have with your client base. But also with the videos, consider the role of being an educator and providing some basic lessons. Everybody has a camera nowadays, thanks to our smartphones. Normally, we like to scoff at that as professional photographers, but now you can use it to your advantage, and you can try and just, give your community some tips. Like, hey, if you want to take some pictures with your smartphone, try this. If you want to elevate your picture-taking level to another, or game to another level, try this. I'm a professional photographer. If you want to take a picture of your boyfriend or your girlfriend in a nice way, try this technique. People will appreciate that. It's one way you can kind of give back to your community. Again, maybe provide a distraction to people at a time like this. And I think we all know that the younger generation really loves taking pictures, and they are always doing that. So that's one way you can kind of connect with them. Okay. So, and just again to reiterate, make sure that you have these pictures of your products kind of as you see here and that you post them. You need to, if you want to sell the printed products, and you need to show them. You need to let the people know that you have them, and you need to create that excitement for your clientele and for your potential consumer base. Again, you have to remember, as a professional photographer, you are the leader in the industry, and so sometimes you have to remind your clients that they actually do want printed products and that they are something of value. And the first way you can do that, one of the many ways you can do that, is simply by showing them all over your websites and showing the excitement and portraying the excitement that they can cause for other people. Okay, so again, when times are slow, no matter when, whether it's COVID-19 or just bad season for you, the key is to keep yourself noticed and to keep your name visible. Okay, when the grass grows high, you don't want to lie down. You want to jump up and keep your face above the fray. Okay, so always keep yourself noticed. And again, especially in this COVID-19 crisis, don't let your community think that you've disappeared. You want them to know that you're still around, that you're doing okay, that you're going to get through this, that we're all going to get through this, and you're going to be ready to go once everything passes. Okay, so certainly another thing that you can be doing right now, if you have a little extra time, since you might not have to go on a shoot or something, is you can educate yourself. Nobody is ever entirely educated. We are all always able to learn something. So use this downtime to either sharpen a skill that you already have or to learn something new. And focus on business as well as photography. This obviously is a very important aspect of being a professional photographer, is the business side of it. And I know a lot of times the focus can be more on the photography side. But do yourself a favor and focus on the business, especially at a time like this. There are things that you can learn, ways that you can manage moments like this, crisis moments, and to make sure that you run your numbers correctly, and that when things get better, that you run your numbers properly, so that if something like this happens again, you can survive it. So business is extremely important as a professional photographer. You can take this time to learn about it. You can learn about business in general. You can learn about marketing, how to use ads. You can learn again about social media, how to perfect those skills, things like SEO and the 21st century version of marketing and things like that. Or you can learn a completely new skill. Consider that as well. Maybe even a new genre. You dip your toes into a new genre. Maybe you are a family portrait photographer and you think, hey, maybe I'll read up a little bit about weddings if I have some downtime, or vice versa. Or maybe you're a family photographer, but you say, hey, my dog keeps running around, I got nothing else to photograph. Maybe I'll look into some pet photography. If you have the time, that's something else to consider. Also, again, this bottom one, video. Video is very important. I've written about this many a time, just how crucial of a skill video is. It is the media of the 21st century, and its popularity, we all see it, and it's only going to continue to get more and more popular. So if you have a free moment, try to get yourself up to speed on learning some video skills. This will help you to promote your name and your studio and interact with people through social media, especially these up-and-coming generations who just can't get enough of short, witty videos. And so complement your photography academy and experience platforms by checking out what we have to offer at NPHOTO as well. We have a blog space, we have a YouTube channel with industry leaders, and so much more. This is all free to you. And you can even watch our other Photography Academy webinars with NPHOTO as well. So get yourself educated. Again, now is a good time to step back and do that for yourself. Jay, are there any questions before we continue?
I do have some questions, but they're kind of general, not specific. So if you want to finish off, and then we'll hit them at the end, mate.
Okay, so I will carry on then. Let's go into mini sessions. Now, again, this will be more for when COVID lifts and if we're in a normal society circumstance and business just seems to be a little bit slow. But mini sessions can be a very, very, very powerful injection to your business. They can be, you can structure these however you want. I'm not necessarily going to tell you exactly how to structure them. That's something you can discuss further with Mark and Jay and the rest of the PA community if you want to. But in general, they can be a very low entry photographic experience. So they might not have to have a huge payout up front from the client's perspective. So that can make them something attractive. They think they're getting a service. They are getting a service without much of a down payment. professional experience without much of a down payment, but you as a professional can try and catch them. I don't like to use that word, but to try and catch them at the end by getting the money back with the products that you offer them. And again, if you do the process right, it's not going to be some kind of gimmick thing. They're just going to legitimately want to have some of the products to preserve the memories that you captured with them through these mini sessions. So these can be very, very powerful and hit on the best of both worlds. And some products that can go perfect to complement some mini sessions are things like our triplex. You see that in the lower right-hand corner here. This is an example of a triplex. Here it is open and here it is closed. So just 3 photos, mounted into a leatherette trifold. And there are many size options available for that. You can feel free to check that out on our website, nphoto.com/en. A folio box also makes a perfect product to pair with mini session images, as well as, of course, wall decor. Also, mini sessions are great because they're flexible. Oftentimes, in photography, you might get stuck. You might get a specific routine that you have or style that you have for the big wedding or for the big formal family shoot or something like that. But mini sessions allow you to really be flexible and play up on the current, calendar. Obviously the big thing with mini sessions is to play off the upcoming holidays, but you can also play off pop culture. Superheroes are a big thing nowadays, so you can take advantage of that and do some superhero shots. I know I've seen some beautiful superhero shots from members of the PA and experience community. So you can continue to do things like that. GOT's Game of Thrones was another one that used to be popular. Maybe that day has passed, but that's an option. Star Wars never seems to die. That's for you, Jay. That's always around. You can always take advantage of that. Harry Potter is HP. Disney's always got something. Lord of the Rings. So you can play off pop culture, and don't be afraid to lean into your client base for inspiration about mini sessions. Oftentimes, photographers might be reluctant to take advice from their clients for the big formal events, but this could be a good time to encourage client feedback and say, hey, what would you like from is there something you would like for me to get a picture of you in? Maybe as a superhero, maybe a costume during Halloween or something like that. So this is a good time where you can encourage customer feedback and again build that nice relationship with your community and your clientele. And of course, with the power mini sessions they can be ever changing. If we look at this this last one. So that's something that can keep your interest and your intrigue and keep people coming back to you, is the fact that what's the next mini session going to be like this year? We did superheroes, but next year, stay tuned and we'll announce what we're going to do next year. Things like this. You can, if I go to the next slide, yep. You can consider something like a premium or specialty minis. I've been talking to a few photographers who've actually done something like this where to be eligible for one mini session, for example, like a Santa or a holiday mini session, you have to have had a previous shoot with them in the past. That was something that came to me from a previous photographer. It was for a legitimate reason, but it turned out to be great in so many different ways. So that could be something that you can consider. You can enforce some kind of tie-in like that. You can make some special theme and create kind of a higher level experience, but again, make it some kind of premium thing where people need to sign up. You only have a limited number of spaces to just generate that interest and cause people to really make sure that they're keeping your name in their head and checking their calendars and asking you, when's this going to happen? When's that going to happen? And things like that. And mini sessions can be that cyclical feed for your business. You can take clients from your bigger formal events and they can come back to you for a mini session, and some people who came to you from a mini session might end up wanting to use you for some of your more formal and official packages as well. So it's really just a wonderful way for you to try and stimulate your business in moments when times are tough. I know some people have kind of don't like mini sessions or maybe feel like they are beneath them, but they can really, really help you to get your business going again. And with that, it's important to remember that success is a result. It's not necessarily the process. So it's not like you are only successful if you are always going up, 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 and up. That's not how it is. Instead, it's kind of more of a maze. And I saw a graphic of this on the internet that I didn't include, but it was really cool. And it illustrated exactly what that says. That if you look at people in success who are you would consider successful now, of course they've had bumps in the road. Of course, they might have had to quote unquote go backwards. Of course, they maybe took a left turn or a right turn or here or there. When business is slow or when you're in an extreme situation like we are now with COVID-19, you have to do what you have to do. And that doesn't mean that you're not successful for doing it. So with something like a mini session, even if you never would have considered it before, if you maybe felt like it was beneath you or something, it is something to consider. They can be fantastic for your business. And for more strategical ways you can use mini sessions, I'm sure you can check in with Mark, Jay, and the rest of the PA crew and get them tailored specifically to your work and to your community around you. But those are wonderful ways for you to try and jumpstart your business. And just, again, Winston Churchill is kind of stating what we were just mentioning, and that is success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Okay, so even if you do define yourself at a place of success right now, you need to keep working. And if you're in a low point, and when you get to those low points, and we maybe are all in a low point right now, that doesn't mean that it has to be the end. What really matters, again, is that attitude and that courage to continue. So just to keep on going and do what is necessary to succeed. Another thing that should be considered when business is slow is to add to your portfolio. Okay, add some work to show. Now, again, this might be more for when you're just generally in a slow time, but there are no social restrictions, because you can do something like seek out models for work if you don't have many clients coming in. You can collaborate with some style shoots or set up some style shoots of your own for your genre, so you can get together with some other leaders and artists in the industry. So if you're a wedding photographer, you can call the local florist, you can call the decorator, wedding planner, and stuff like this, and collaborate to make a really nice shoot that you can then later just, again, post and share on social media and put in your portfolio and things like this. And of course, at a time like this, if we look at the third point, when you're looking to bolster your portfolio, it's the perfect time to try something different, to kind of reach out, be a little more creative, or just try something new, and again, see how your public, your following reacts to it and how you react to it. Maybe there is something that you would like to get into that you didn't really even know you liked so much until you finally tried it. Or vice versa. You might try something that you thought you wanted to do, but then when you were in the process of it, you're like, oh, no, I'm going to make sure I steer clear of this. So when you have some downtime or when things are slow and you're looking to bolster your portfolio, it'd really be a nice idea to step outside the usual box and to try some new things. Another quote from Churchill, again, it's not enough that we do our best. Sometimes we must do what is required. Okay, so again, step outside your comfort zone if things are getting a little tough. If things aren't going the way that you want them to be going, you might then need to try and pivot and just try something a little bit different. And again, this is very apropos, unfortunately, in these times when we need to just do whatever we can, what we need to be doing. So here we have talked about many things that we can do, and we'll get into just a few more. So again, change. I know this can often make us cringe. A lot of people don't like to change. Personally, I'm not the person who likes to change all the time. I'm pretty the old-fashioned, set in my ways kind of guy. But again, when we're talking about business and when we're in our slow moments or we're in a really bad situation with a business, we need to always keep this in the back of our mind and to consider this. We cannot be afraid of potentially changing. Now, this doesn't have to be a huge change, but it also could be. And we need to make sure that we always consider changing and maybe refreshing our business and our brand. And again, it could be something as small as, hey, maybe I'm going to get a new logo. Maybe I'm going to have it drawn differently, or go to a different graphic designer and just get it refreshed. It could be something as small as that, or it could be something as major as saying, you know what, I'm going to change the location of my studio, or I'm going to make that commitment and I'm going to get a separate studio space. You could maybe try to venture into a different genre, adopt a different genre of photography. Again, you can interpret this change any way that you want to, but the reality is slow business, it could be a coincidence. Maybe it's just a bad year all around for everybody. Maybe people just aren't spending this year, or it could be something a little bit deeper than that. Maybe your offer needs to change a little bit. Maybe you should introduce new products. Maybe the products that you are promoting are not really what your clientele or your target audience is looking for. Maybe you need to update your stuff. Maybe it's just a little bit outdated. Again, maybe it has to be something a little more dramatic, like consider a rebranding. Maybe you just need to try a different target audience or expand your reach. Again, maybe you have the right message, a good message, but it's just going to the wrong people. That's something that you might want to, look in, that you need to look into too. And as I mentioned, maybe consider getting a physical location or changing its locale. You don't need a studio to be successful as a photographer, but it certainly can help. And of course, with any physical real estate, it's all about location. So make sure that you have it in the best possible place that you can for the business that you want to provide and the audience you want to try and target. But again, as we've been stressing, the key takeaway is when times are slow, you don't want to stop, but you want to keep going and you want to keep doing. And you want to make sure that you're keeping those wheels turning. Okay, and again, our good friend Winston Churchill, to improve is to change, and to be perfect is to change often. Okay, so not that we have to be chasing perfection right now. That might be the last thing on everyone's mind. But again, do not be afraid of this idea of maybe changing. And even if you went into the COVID situation and things were doing well, time's going to pass, things are going to change. So when we come out of it, you might not be able to pick up your business just as it was when all of this started. You might have to change something, and you might just have to consider those things and some things that might have to be changing. So just something to keep in the back of our minds. And here again is a list of some suggestions of things that might need to be changed. And of course, check in with Mark and Jay and the rest of the PA team to get a more detailed analysis of things that might need to be changed in your business if you're feeling that that is the avenue that you need to go. But now let's talk about something everybody wants to know, and that is how you can make money without leaving home, especially now in these times. This is something that we would all like to know. And there is a way. Believe it or not, there is a way. We have introduced to our professional photographer audience something wonderful for you that will allow you to make money from home. And that is our new folio box mock-ups. So what these are is a product, as you see on the right-hand side on the image here. It's a photo of our products, but it is not including any of our kind of sample images. So you get to put your own sample images inside of the picture of this product, and then you are able to market them the way that you want to market them. You can post them on your website, or you can send them to specific clients with the pictures of themselves in there. If we go back to what I said very early on in the presentation about offering print products to your past clients who might not have ordered any or ordered a different one, this is a perfect thing that you can do then, is you can send them an image of our folio box with your image of them in it to suggest, hey, maybe now you might want something like this at a discounted rate. Of course, when they see their own picture in there, it's going to make them more excited. They're going to feel they're going to feel more attached to it, and it's going to be harder for them to say no than if you send them just a stock image inside or some random couple or subject inside. So this is a really exciting new tool that's available to all of you and any of our clients, is that you have the ability to put your own work inside the picture of our products. So you don't need to wait for the physical sample to arrive and take pictures of that. You can just send it all virtually now, as it says here, without even leaving your home. These are simply PSD files that you download from our website. In fact, here, sorry, hold on. I get into how you do it. I'll go back to this side. So you log onto our website and you open the folio box PSD file in Photoshop. Once you get it, the file is 2 layers. The top layer is a photo mockup, and the bottom is text explaining where to put your photo. So you just drag and drop your photo into Photoshop or paste it into the appropriate place. And then you make sure the photo is placed under the mockup photo layer. Make sure that that's important. Okay, then you edit it, free transform. Here's a nice code for all of you if you're on a Mac, Command+T or Control+T if you're on Windows. You adjust your photo to fit the cutout window, and then you save the final file as a JPEG. I'm going to go back for a second to highlight the fact that we have a 50% off promotion connected to this exciting announcement. And this is 50% off for one client order folio box. So again, it's perfectly complements this promo where when you get that client who says, ooh, I am interested in that, you can offer it to them. We can offer it to you at a 50% discount, and you can decide how you want to pay that forward to your client, or maybe not at all and just reap the profit from it. So 50% off one folio box. While you download these mock-ups, there is going to be a link below that you can click on to take you to the appropriate place to get these mock-ups and to get eligible for this discount. Otherwise, you can just log on our website at www.nphoto.com/en to find out more information about this exciting promo. Get yourself signed up and get yourself the 50% off folio box as well as these free PSD mock-ups. Here's our beautiful folio boxes. I'll rest here for a minute. This again is the instructions of how to take care of the PSD files. Of course, if you ever have any questions about this or anything else, do not hesitate to contact us. We are still working normal working hours. We are doing it safely remotely, but there is still attendees from our customer service department. Our sales reps are still available. Normal working times. So if you ever have a question about anything or about how to make use of this promo or any others, do not hesitate to reach out to us at the phone number 4402030494355 or email customer service at nphoto.com. Again, even in this time, this is all operating as usual. We are doing it responsibly, remotely, at a safe distance. So do bear with us. It might take a little longer to respond than usual, but we are still functioning as usual. And of course, we are still printing as usual. So just a quick wrap up of what we've discussed today. Again, there's still so much that can be done in this current COVID time, or in general when you might find yourself in a slow position with your business. And it's just important to remember that things can be done to improve even when it's slow and it might seem like all is lost or everything is just piling way too high. There are still things that can be done, and it's just super important to not stop, especially in those moments when things are getting tough. You need to, as Churchill had said, just keep going through it. If you're in hell, keep going, don't stop, or then it will really take hold of you. So make sure you keep your name and your work visible. That's especially pertinent now in this COVID-19 situation. Let people know you're still around. Let people know you're still open. Let people know that you are still optimistic, that you still are looking forward to that opportunity to photograph them, but when it is safe to do so. Social media is your friend, again, especially now, and anytime business is slow, social media is your friend. This is the 21st century version of the television, of the radio. You know, this is what platform you need to be on to reach your audience. Don't be afraid to change something. Again, if you really sit down and just can't figure out what it is that things just are not working the way you want them to be working, well, don't be afraid to consider maybe changing something. Again, even something as small as your logo, maybe something more dramatic than that. Check back in with Jay and Mark and the PA team to help with some guidance if that's something you're considering. Again, and there's money, you can make money from home with our folio box mockups. Those are available now and they're not going to be going anywhere. So again, even if in the future you check back in on this webinar, that's still going to be an option for you. Currently, right now, you have that 50% off promo for a folio box. That's a client order, so that's pretty awesome. In addition, you have a 75% off one complete set sample using the code Reason to Print that you can take advantage of. And always remember that we are here for you at NPHOTO, even and especially now when times are tough. We are going to do what it is we are capable of, what it is we are qualified to do to help you and make sure that your business stays as successful as it possibly can. Here's just an image for the promo for the 75% off, and I want to get to the terms and conditions. This is a 75% off complete set promo we have going on that is certainly valid for all of you viewers. It does expire at the end of April, so please do act fast. We are already halfway through April. We're on the second half. Simply again though, just use the code reason to print. Just use the code reason to print. Apply that at checkout. And again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us via email or by phone. There is somebody standing by, excited to help you out. So I'm going to close with two quotes. One we see here, that is Winston Churchill, just to kind of summarize everything we've discussed. Never, never give in. And the other one is one that didn't make it to the webinar, but I don't know why I didn't put it in there, but it's a brilliant quote. And this is from Jensen Sao, who is an Asian entrepreneur and motivational speaker. And he says, don't wait until you are ready to take action. Instead, take action to be ready. And I think that is such an important quote for this time. Again, to kind of go full circle to where we started. If you were just too overwhelmed with everything right now and business is just not something that you can take care of right now, hey, we understand that. We're not trying to push more pressure on you. But if you have the important things in order, this is a time for you to take action, even when it might seem like, what's the point? I can't get any new clients. I can't meet anybody in person. I can't take pictures of people physically. But this is still a time to do it, because like I said, nobody knows when this is going to all end. And when it does, you want to be ready. You don't want to be caught flat-footed when all this is said and done. So don't wait for that moment to take action, but instead take action so that you are ready when it is time. And again, don't ever, ever, ever give in. That's going to do it for the presentation today of what you can do when business is slow. Jay, are there any questions from our audience?
There is, mate. Okay, so, well, lots of really important information covered there. So first of all, thanks. You've reiterated, I know you know what our practices are, but a lot of our teaching and our advice and our support we've been giving our members recently has been exactly that. Some of these questions I can help with as well, which is good. So how to attract new clients? At the moment, that's difficult. I mean, Eugene's touched on everything that we'd be telling you to do at the moment. Awareness, social media is absolutely your friend and everybody's on it. So make them aware of you. And until we can see, and obviously we're all in different places, we're all in different parts of the world, as the lockdowns, get not removed, because I think it'll be a slow process on the restrictions, but as things become more normal, then yes, be ready to get going. That is absolutely key. It's not a time to get back, and we didn't come up with it. My friend messaged me when we were giving the academy away from free with the term learn in lockdown that we've adopted, that education is important. We might not be able to photograph people, but you're absolutely right about photographing things and honing your skills. Yes, as Eugene pointed out, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm also a big child. I love Lego. We have our free magazine that I touched on at the beginning, and it's not next month, it's the month after. The theme is Small World, and we actually have two of the most amazing toy photographers I've ever seen. One Lego guy who specializes in Star Wars, so he's right up my alley, and there's a Japanese guy or a Chinese guy that does things with action figures that are incredible. So there are real ways for you to hone your skills and share on Facebook. I was asked, and this is a really good question, Nell, I was asked about, when we don't have a portfolio of images, how can we share content? At the minute, you've got to create it, and I appreciate that's going to be hard. So, where Eugene was talking about the mini sessions and things like that, when restrictions are released, and maybe even at the beginning, you can only shoot outdoors, portfolio building, don't be afraid to do shout outs, do portfolio sessions, get your images in, or whatever you can at the minute, make it a bit of fun. Yeah, of course you can, mate, jump in.
Sorry, just to jump in, because one thing, I didn't put that in there, but I probably should have. One thing you also see happening with some photographers is they are finding ways to connect, through FaceTime or Skype or something, and they're taking pictures, through those programs. So you'll see some images posted by photographers even now, and they're of course not the same quality as in a studio or meeting them in person, but it is resembling very much a shoot because they're able to, use the technology to still. So you might be able to reach out to a model and say, hey, let's try to do this shoot through, FaceTime or through Skype or something like that. Sorry, I'm not the biggest technology guy, so I don't know exactly the programs they're using. But if you just search this kind of stuff on like Google and stuff, I'm sure it will turn up where you can find that a few photographers I've seen now have done this, where they have used the webcams and found ways to take pictures of people through the webcam or direct them through Skype and somehow still take pictures of them. And so there are some crazy ways where you can really get as close as possible. So if you don't have a portfolio, even in this time, there's one thing you can consider. Again, it's not going to be as pristine as the studio and all that stuff, but it could be better than nothing. You could get some creative and fun things out of there that might be good for social media, and people will applaud for your creativity and your resourcefulness and your determination as well.
We have, I mean, again, it depends on your own individual circumstances. Unfortunately, if you're isolated by yourself, it's not doable. But a lot of us have got family and friends around us, or even your pets. So, as Eugene mentioned, don't avoid from using them as models. Just make them do it. They're your family and your friends. One of our lighting experts, Simon Burfoot, his eldest daughter has become his model, and he's been doing live at lunch, not live at lunch. He's been doing live Facebook lighting sessions, from his backyard studio. So there are ways around it, and obviously in these times people understand that. But yeah, there are ways to create the images. But until
and also self-portraits too. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
Everybody has themselves, though.
That's a brilliant idea. We a long time ago, Mark did a thing called the 12 Faces of Eve, which was the same girl in 12 ways. It doesn't mean it can't be you. So that's another way to practice your skills and learn different lighting techniques. So brilliant idea, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get into some of these questions. The PSD files, they're available anyway, mate, whether you're placing the order or not, right, for them to use.
The PSD files, you need to log in to access them.
Yep, that's fair. This came in. We have had one or two people with us from the US today. Obviously, we've been pointing them to the English site. So is there different offers? Are they the same, I presume, for American viewers, but do they need to go somewhere else?
No, we have integrated the website. So /EN is the same for the US and the UK now.
Brilliant. Lots of thanks. I'm just skipping through that. I'll give you the thanks in a minute, mate, but I'm just clearing them out so I can get to the questions. We had a question about, obviously, you said that you're still printing. Obviously, you're still delivering now, and we know, well, some people don't know that, but you're based in Poland, but there's only we're not experiencing major delays. There are some delays in the UK with delivery, and obviously that's just natural in these circumstances. But as you're manufacturing and delivering as normal, yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
And we will update people immediately if something changes. Of course, anything can happen anytime. But as of right now, everything is normal.
David's asked more towards me, I guess. If you don't know, I mentioned at the beginning, one of my key areas in the Photographer Academy and Experience Group is social media, and David's asked if we'll do some stuff on social media. I'm going to be doing that, David, for the Photographer Academy. So within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to launch some webinars on social media and how best to use it as a whole, but also in these times. So keep posted on our newsletter for those. So it should be the week after next, I believe. I'm going to kick those off with us on that. That's another great thanks. Are there any this is directed to you and NPHOTO, are there any other PSD files of your products available to your customers?
We are working on them. Not at the moment. At the moment, what we have now is just the folio boxes, but we are working on getting other products created. And I will say on behalf of our company, if there are some specific products that you would like, let us know. And of course, we respect our client feedback. So we can push one to the front if we see that a lot of people want that. But we are working on doing others. Just right now, it's the folio boxes.
Brilliant. And now this is for me again, social media from scratch. I will absolutely be doing that in the next few weeks for you, David. So keep posted for that with the Photographer Academy. Eugene, lots of praise and thanks and reiterated from me. on that. So thank you again for your time. I know we ran over a little bit, but we had a load of people online with us today. Really informative, lots for them to digest. As Eugene said, all of the previous webinars that Eugene's done with us as well, along with ours, are available on the Photographer Academy, within the Academy, and on our YouTube channel as well. So please feel free to get involved with us. Eugene, I'm just going to take the screen back for a few quick reminders. But thank you again for your time, mate. We'll have you back in within the next few weeks as well. So you'll be a regular occurrence, as he's becoming now on slide. I forget how in tune we are, because yes, I know we're both Pearl Jam fans, but I'm a huge fan of the Counting Crows as well. So lovely.
Oh, yes.
Clicked in earlier when you said.